Hello everyone, this is Fine from Tech Gaming Villa. You see the 2 TV on the left side, Sony Bravia A90J, and on the right side, Samsung S95B. One of the first 2021 TV models has arrived in the form of A90J, Sony's new flagship OLED TV. Sony is actually highlighting more efficient and brighter OLED panels, Android 10 plus Google TV, and access to its new Bravia Core streaming service, which is exclusive to the 2021 models. These OLED TVs have a very clean look thanks to the company's acoustic surface speaker system embedded in the OLED panel. There is no speaker in a need for speakers on the front or at the bottom of the screen. It ensures a minimalistic look with only a thin frame at the bottom, a height microphone holes, and a small Sony logo. Sony actually changed the design of the feet that support the TV, which in my opinion is a successful upgrade. On the other hand, in 2012 and 2013, when LG launches its first OLED TV, Samsung also launched its take on the new display technology. The South Korean giant eventually abandoned the project due to high production costs. Fast forward 10 years and Samsung is once again introducing OLED TVs. The S95B will represent new high-end TVs and sit alongside Samsung's high-end new QLED LCD TVs in the 2022 TV line. Samsung actually referring to the S95B as a OLED TVs with no references to QD OLED. They actually said that S95B OLED TVs will feature 4K resolution with Tizen operating system with the new gaming hub, Dolby Atmos audio support, and object tracking sound technology. Samsung refers that the design as laser slim. TV also feature HDMI 2.1 ports for 4K 120. This S95B actually powered by neural quantum processor 4K and feature an OLED brightness booster and perceptual color mapping to deliver bright, precise highlights and realistic true-to-life colors. And S95B actually two model, 55-inch and 65-inch. 55-inch price around $2,200 and now it's the price drops. Now it's price $1,900 and 65-inch $2,600. Actually, it's evaluating and discussing OLED TV picture quality when all panels are sourced from the same supplier. The new higher-end panel pushes it a little farther with higher brightness compared to previously Sony OLED TVs. I found that custom mode has a slightly higher peak brightness of around 750 nits, which is 100 more than last year's A8, but still some way from Panasonic 8Z2000 that hits 1000 nits. I also found that Sony A90J in some picture modes settings is capable of delivering short bursts of 1300 nits, which is related to the new OLED panel. However, reaching 1300 nits comes with big caveats because you either have to use vivid mode or adjust settings in such a way that it affects gray tones to a degree that degrades the picture in other ways. Either way, A90J will not be able to maintain 1300 nits for more than a few seconds, after which it drops to 800 nits. So I have to question how much of a benefit the brighter OLED panel is to the viewer. Personally, I prefer stable 1000 nits peak brightness over ultra short bursts of 1300 nits. Besides higher peak brightness for HDR, A90J delivers overall higher brightness down to 25% coverage, as seen in this brightness you see. Now more closely matches Panasonic 8Z2000 for full screen brightness and surpasses other OLED TVs like previously Sony OLED TVs as well as LG CX. The risk of burn-in still hangs over OLED. I observed retention, the temporary effect after long sessions of measuring and calibrating the panel, but I never spotted any signs of retention during gaming or general viewing. Of course, I cannot determine the exact risk of burn-in as it would would require long-term testing that cannot be conducted during a review period. My advice is still for OLED in general to consider if OLED is the right choice. If you are using your TV mainly as a set and forget screen with the same channel running on the screen for hours and hours, day after day. The OLED panel is still employing an algorithm to dim the panel if static elements remain in the picture for too long. There is no option to deactivate the overall dimming function, and some have found it to affect scores or other situations where a scoreboard or HUD remains on the screen. Both TV actually looks fine. A90J is a bit expensive, but I like A90J color and contrast. And the system is still a tad too aggressive for this test. Of course, it helps spare the panel. Like the previous Sony TVs, A90J produces a picture with smooth gradients and gray tones in general. If you feed it with a low quality sources with banding in the content, you can activate Sony's smooth gradation function to counteract the effect. It affects effective resolution somewhat, but not to a significant degree. With this feature, activated gradients for SDR and HDR appear completely smooth, and only Dolby Vision content produce occasional banding. But if you prefer the highest clarity over smoother gradients, you should not activate the function for SDR, HDR10 and DV. Sony's video processing is as usual top-notch. It handles upscaling, motion, and other tasks as expected. Again, this year A90J offers black frame insertion running at 100 to 120 Hz, and the feature can help make fast motion look more detailed or sharper. Although it comes at the expense of brightness, especially for HDR content, where brightness takes a drastic hit. I'm still not convinced that the trade-off is worth it. See last year's reviews for a more detailed evaluation measurement of 100 or 120 Hz black frame insertion in various OLED TVs. OLED's Achilles heel when it comes to motion is ironically its extremely fast response time that can produce a type of stroboscopic effect on low frame rate content such as movies in 24 FPS. This effect in previous reviews, but it will remain an issue as long as low frame rate content prevails in the market. So it is more a market situation than it is a fault of OLED TV. Having access to content in 60 FPS or perhaps just 48 FPS would produce a better picture without having to employ a level of motion compensation to cancel out the stroboscopic effect. The benefit would also be moving pictures with much higher clarity resolution, with motion flow activated at one of its lowest settings. This A90J delivers some of the best motion that you can get on an OLED TV without notable artifacts or soap opera effects. This A90J sample had slightly darker edges when the picture approached the darkest 3 to 4% gray tones. It was very hard to spot with the naked, and you see the photo below required long exposure shot, so it is not a big problem. As soon as gray rose above the 5% level, the OLED panel produced more and more homogeneous gray tones. I did not see color tinting or similar issues, so overall A90J is fantastic. But like PS5, it still lacks VRR support, which Sony informs that coming with a later firmware update, although it has not said when to expect it. Last year Sony TVs with promised VRR support have still not received the required firmware, so don't expect any quick fixes here. Auto low latency mode is also now good, and S95 also. This A90J supports HDMI 2.1 including from PlayStation 5 and 4K 120 Hz. On the other hand, I experienced an occasional blackout on the TV screen for 4K 60 HDR10 4:4:4. I could not locate the source of the issue or whether it was related to the TV or cable. But please note nothing that I didn't experience the same issue on Sony. So all in all, say S95 also a very good TV, A90J also a very fantastic TV, but A90J is still expensive on Amazon. 65-inch A90J price 2,800 US dollar, and 65-inch S95B is cheaper, 2,600 US dollar. So which TV you want to buy? Please write in the comments below. So that's it from now. If you like this video, please subscribe and press the bell icon for future notifications update. Thanks for watching.
To change up.